Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel. If you have some vellum or tracing paper and you want to make something with the vellum papers, I've got a project here to give you an idea of what you can use the vellum or tracing paper. And it's just a folder, and it's a double vellum pocket folder where there are two pockets, and you use the vellum sheet or tracing paper, which is pretty much the same kind of paper, and they do come in different thicknesses as well. The one that I've used for these projects is more like a not a thin sort of vellum paper. It's a little bit like a medium weight vellum paper, so you can use any kind. Just the thinner ones may tear a little bit easier, but it should still work. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and what I've got in here, just to give you an idea of what you can put in the vellum pockets. And I also made these in two sizes, and they're really fun. This one here uses 1 6x6 paper, and the great thing with this project, you just use your single-sided papers to make these as well. So you can grab your single-sided papers and make these, and you can make a bunch of these. These are great for happy mail or to store your ephemera pieces, envelopes, photos, anything you like. There is a lot of space in here, and I want to also see what you can fit in these pockets. So I've got a couple, or not a couple, I have a handful of my past projects here, and I want to see and show you what you can fit in these double vellum pockets. So I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'm going to do the tutorial for you if you want to make one of these as well. So this is the smaller size. It's a nice sort of pocket size pocket, and I did use Rosie Studios papers. It's the, in case you're wanting to know what papers I used, it's the Born to Bloom collection by Rosie's Studio. You can purchase these at scrapbook.com if you are in the US or outside of Australia. But this is the papers that I use. It's a beautiful collection. So I just did some simple embellishing in the front using the ephemera, coordinating ephemera pieces, and it opens up to a double pocket like this, and there are two vellum pockets, and they open up from the outside, and it's just a great little pocket. And I'll show you what I've got in here to give you some inspiration or just some ideas. I've made a envelope to place in there, and I think that's a great size, and I've just placed it in there with the flaps sort of on the outside, just to make it sort of more interactive. And then there is another sort of a pocket that I made as well, and you can have it this way or you can open it that way. And this is a piece of project that I made as well a while back, and these are just some of the cutter parts. And there is a little side pocket there, and that closes up that way. So that's one side of the vellum pocket. So this is it here. And then on this side is another one, exactly the same size. And I've just got in here one of my other previous little pockets that I made a while back. Not a while back, not too long ago. And it was just using your papers from your stash, and you get to make two pockets. So there is a front pocket in the front, and I've just made a tag to put in there, and then there is a side pocket where you can make a little note card and create a little file tab as a little pull tab, and it goes in there. And it's just a fun little pocket idea. It's a great little floating pocket to add inside a journal page or in your planners. And then I punched a couple of holes to decorate the side with some trim, and you can then also make a stack of these and stack them up and add them into like a planner, and then just slide the rings into the binder rings, and you've got a little pocket flip page. So that was a perfect size to fit in here. And then I've just got these pieces of scrap cutter parts that I just made them into little note cards, and then punched a hole and added a little dangle tassel that I made with some seam binding, and I thought that was just a nice fun way to decorate the edge. As you can see, it looks really pretty and decorates the edge of your folder. So these were the fun little pieces that I was able to fit in this double vellum pocket. And then I just decorated the edge with some more scrap papers to create like a tab shape on the side. I was going to punch a couple of holes in the middle and then tie some string to create a closure and just tie it up, but I thought I'd just leave it like this for now. But that was just an idea if you wanted to make a closure. You could also just use a belly band or just tie some string around it to keep it closed so it doesn't sort of open up like that, but you can leave it this way. So these were some of the fun projects that I can fit in here. So this one is a smaller size. So there is plenty of room, you can see. So that's that one. And let me see what else I can fit in here. So I've managed to fit that in there. I've got all these. I just grabbed a bunch from my completed project box of projects that I made. I don't know, let's see, this one will fit. This might be too big, but this is like a tag. There's a little tag, side tag. Sorry, just pull that glue. Hang on a second, it's a little bit tight, but there is a side pocket here for a tag, and then it flips up. So it's just a bit stuck, and then it flips up to another pocket inside here where you can add some more bits and pieces in there. And I did a tutorial on that, and you can also have it that way if you wanted it this way and have that pulled up and have that way, or you can turn your pocket with it on the top. So I think this will fit, but it may stick out a little bit. So it does stick out a bit, but it's still fine. I think it's still nice to have all these sort of goodies jam-packed in here, and it makes it look like it's a really fun pocket to add all this stuff. This is another pocket I made. I've just added a pack of ephemera pieces. This also has a vellum pocket in the front. Oh, this is a cute little embellishment. Look at this tiny envelope that I made. And I think I used a circle punch to make this envelope. And it's just such a cute little tiny envelope, and it's just an embellishment with a heart dangle. And I think that would fit in here. So that fits nicely in there too. See, still fits in there. And then there's also room on this side if I wanted to add some more. See, that's too big. What else have I got? This is another pocket album that I made. This has got all these different pockets in here. That might fit in here. It does too, look at that. And that fits in there nicely. And they've got all these dangles. And that's just so fun. Look how chunky that is, full of goodness inside. Little dangles, pom-poms, tassels. And then you can just wind some nice string or fabric or ribbon. And then you've got that all nicely enclosed. So there are just some of the fun stuff that I've managed to fit in there. Now we'll have a look at the large one. And I'll see what we can fit in here as well. So this is the larger size, which I also like. And I added a front side pocket for the larger size. This one doesn't have one. And I've just added some of these cut aparts from the Rosie Studio paper collection. And then I found this pocket that I made as well. And it's got some more dangles. And this has a double pocket. This has a little pocket in the front. And then these are just some tags that I made. And then there's also another pocket at the back for some more of your tags or note cards, journal cards, project life cards, or photos. And that was a perfect size to fit in here. And then on the inside is exactly the same. It's just a lot larger and more roomier, and there's a lot more height and width. And I've got in here an envelope that I made, and this also just used a 6x6 paper to make the envelope. I love making this size envelope, and it's so easy to make. You can make a bunch of these really quickly. And I've just some more cutter parts, and I just embellished that front. I don't know, something about this envelope I like. It's not just your simple kind of envelope, but it's got that little sort of window in the front, which I like, and it just sort of gives you a little sneak peek of what's inside your envelope. And that's the one of the window pockets. And I also done the same and put the closure on the front. And I did a bit of embellishing using the coordinating die cuts from the collection. And then this is another older, this is a really old project I've done, and it uses an envelope. I used the envelope punch board to make the envelope, but you can make this using any envelopes. So there's an envelope with a pocket in there, and then there is a top pocket, and it flips over to the next page, and then this is just a page where I just did some embellishing. I think I just embellished, yep, and did some embellishing on the back. So this was a fun project that I made, and that was a nice perfect fit in there. And this one, you'll be able to fit a lot more stuff in here. So let's see, I'm going to fit that in there. That I know will fit because it's a lot more deeper. I've also made one of these a while back. It's got a couple more pockets, 2 front little tuck pockets here for some of your small ephemera pieces. I made a little window with a piece of vellum, and then on the back is another pocket. That's the back. Let's see, I might put this on this side because I've got a dangle here. I think this will fit. And this is a little bit bulky too, and so it does fit in there. And I've also got this larger one. I think I had just recently done this project. I think this was one of my one sheet wonder project. And I made like a tag shape, or tag, but made it into a different way on the top. And I think, what is this one? I think this is, oh, how cute. Yeah, so this has a side pocket. Yeah, so this is a 12 by 12 one sheet wonder project. You can make this whole coordinating set, and there is an envelope here, and there is a pocket at the back there as well. And I think with the leftover pieces, I made this little embellishment which you can use to close your envelope if you wanted to do that. So that was a fun project to make. And this is similar envelope, just a little bit different. It goes in there. Pop that back in there. And let's see. That should fit. And it fits. A bit chunky. It's quite jam-packed full of goodness in here as well, but it's the same way. Just add some string to keep it closed. You can just leave it like that, and then you still got this front pocket here to add more of your fun paper goods in there. It's a little bit tight, but you're still able to fit all of these tags in there and all these extra pieces, because there is it's quite long, and I made a nice depth in there, so you can add all of that. So let's make one of these. Well, I'm going to make the small one first, and then I'll make the larger one, and then you can decide which one you like. I'll just leave all the stuff in there for now. So we'll make the smaller one, and that's just using a single-sided 6x6 paper. And I've also cut a couple of strips if you wanted to make this tab bit like I've got here. I've just cut a strip of paper at 1 inch by 6 inches. So just 1 inch by 6 inches, and then I've just turned it around and cut it in half. So I've got 2 pieces at 3 inches by 3 inches by 1 inch. So let's just do this now. And then I'm just going to fold this over in half. You don't have to make this one if you don't want. You can even make it shorter. You can make it however you like for this part if you want to do that. But if you want to make it exactly like mine, these are the measurements. So I've got 2 of those. And now we have your 6x6 paper. I might grab my smaller scoreboard. I've got it here. I'll just use my large one. So measurements are very easy. So I have this pattern paper and it's all going one direction. I'm not fast that it's going to be upside down on some parts of where we fold it, so it doesn't worry me. The only thing is you want to make sure that your direction paper is facing the right way, which is this way, because it's going to get folded that way and then you'll have it this way. And now what we're going to do first is I'm going to turn it around this way. It's just easy for you to see the score lines. And we are going to first score it on this side at 3 inches. And then we're just going to turn it around the other way and we're going to score going in at 3/4 of an inch both sides. So just 3/4 of an inch on one side. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same on the opposite at 3/4 inches. So that's it for that. And then you want to also, you need some vellum pieces. So for this piece, the smaller vellum pocket, you want 2 vellum pieces and you want to cut that at 3 inches by 4 inches. So 2 pieces at 3 by 4 inches. And what we'll do next, we are going to just cut at an angle on all 4 corners where you see that score line. So I'm just going to go up where that score line and do that. Do the same to the opposite one, going down. So you just sort of want to, like that. And then the same on the other 2 sides. I'm just going to turn it around this way. Just going down on one side. And then the same going down on the other side. So that is how your corners should look like. And then down here on the center score line, I'm going to cut up to that score line and then just a slight little trim on each side of that part that we made that trim. It's just to make your folder close easily. So I've just sort of left like a little gap there. And then we're going to do the same on this side. I'm just going to cut up at that score line and then go in on one side and then same on the other side. And just take them out. Okay. And all we're going to do next is we're just going to fold these 4 pieces in. 1, 2, 3, and the last one. Just getting my bone folder just to make the folds a little bit easier. And then we'll just fold that middle piece over and then you've got yourself, oh, I'm going to go that way. And then you've got yourself your folder. And then when you open it up, you have that. That's why we just trimmed off these little pieces in the center, just so it doesn't catch. And we've got the 2 vellum pieces that was cut at 3 by 4 inches. On the 4-inch side, I'm just going to go this way, I'm not sure if you can see. On that 4-inch side, we're going to just create a little fold about 1/4 of an inch, not too much. 1/4 of an inch is perfectly enough. Just that much. And the same, doesn't matter if they're not quite even. You can use the scoreboard if you wanted to have them both the same. So we've got them both like that. You're going to grab your glue, and we are going to add glue just not along the edge, just going in from the edge. It's just so that the glue doesn't, come out through. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue and go all the way, but don't go, I didn't go all the way. I'm just going to stop just before I get to the end. Just about there. And then the same on this side, just on the inside of the edge, and just stopping before I get to the end. Grab one of the vellum pieces, and we're going to glue all on the outside part of the fold, face down, and we're going to line that fold line beside that score line, not on it, just beside it, and just sort of centering it from the top and bottom as if it doesn't have to be exactly centered, because this is going to cover it, and then you just bring that down and close that up. And there you will have a pocket on one side. And we're just going to do the same on the other side. I mean, you can go all the way if you wanted to. It all just depends on your vellum piece, if it's a bit shorter. So I'm just going to go all the way with this one. And then the same. Glue that, and then have that facing down, and place it beside the fold. And there you have your double vellum pocket folder, all finished, ready for you to decorate and have fun adding your goodies. Now I did make these. I'm just going to corner around the corners just to decorate that, and it just makes it a bit more tidy. I think it's fun adding these little sides as tabs. It just decorates your project. I'm just going to place one somewhere in the middle, in the center. Just line this up to meet the same. And that is your cute double vellum pocket folder for your ephemera pieces. Store whatever you like. You can store photos. And then you can punch a couple of holes on each of these, and then tie a nice string, and that will keep it nice and closed and keeps everything inside the pocket. So that's a smaller one all complete. And now for the larger size, you want to cut another a single-sided paper, and this one you want to cut at 10 inches by 8 inches. So it's 10 inches by 8 inches. And your vellum pieces, you want to cut those pieces at 5 inches by 4 inches. So you want to cut 2 of those at 5 by 4 inches. And I also cut another piece of strip of paper. That's for this part here, because when we fold it over to create the pocket, it's the white part. So I didn't want to show the white part, so I did cut another strip of paper at 2 inches by 6 inches, and that will cover the white. So that's all you need. And now we'll start scoring the pocket part. And the score lines are easy measurements as well. So we've got the 10-inch on the 10-inch side, and we're going to score at 2 inches all the way to the bottom, and 6 inches. And then we're going to turn it around on the 8-inch side, and we're going to score at 1 inch. And it's 1 inch on both sides going in. I'm just going to turn it the other way and score it out at 1 inch as well. So that's all the score lines. So I'll just repeat them again. So we're going to score on the 10-inch side 2 inches and 6 inches. You'll turn it around on the 8-inch side, and it's 1 inch and 7 inches, or just 1 inch going in on both sides. Now for this part, what we'll do first, we'll do the same thing. We're going to cut this side at an angle. So this side here is the score line with the 2-inch side. We're going to go on this side. Do the same. Do that. And then the same on this side. Just cutting up a little bit. Then we'll go around to the opposite side and do the same. And what we want to do next, we've got these 2 little pieces here on each corner. We're going to remove those. We don't need those. So I'm just going to remove those 2 corners pieces. You can keep them to the side and make cute little small tags if you wanted to, and or use them for embellishments. But this is still a nice size to play around with. And I'm tempted to use these for something else. I don't like to waste paper. And now what we're going to do next here is, let me just see. We'll do the same, and we're going to angle cut these corners like that, and the same on that side. I'll just turn it around this way. So I'm going to bring it back so that that 2-inch score line is on the left. And we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll just fold these pieces up like we had done with the smaller folder. Exactly the same. And we're going to fold this over just so you've got an idea of how it looks like. Folding that. And then that piece is going to get folded back. So then you've got that pocket. So there. We'll just line everything up. Okay. So there is the part where we're going to add the vellum, and then this part, and then that piece of paper will get placed in the front to cover the white part. I'm just going to grab the 2 vellum pieces, and then on the longer side, which was on the 5-inch side, we'll do the same and just fold that over the same. I think this is a 90 GSM weight paper, if I'm not wrong, vellum. I think it says 90 GSM on the packaging of the vellum that I bought. And we'll do the same. We'll just go add some glue. on the side. I might even quickly give you the measurements for that envelope if you wanted to make the envelope to fit in here. That I'll give you the measurements for you to make this envelope as well with the 6x6 paper. And then you've got something ready to add into your pocket. So that's all done already there. That's all glued down nicely, and we'll do the same to this side. Because I'm not sure if I've made that envelope in that measurement in any of my videos, so I'll do it anyway for you. And bring that down. So that's all done. I'm just going to give you another option, just in case if you would like to do that. I'm just going to bring this upside down. If you wanted to, you can have that as a closure. If you don't want to make that into a front pocket, and then it opens up with that side and this side. The only thing with if you have that as a closure, it will restrict you from having anything sticking out of your pocket, because then you won't be able to close that. But that's just another idea for you. But I like the idea with an extra pocket because I love pockets and tuck pockets. And we're just going to simply glue the top and bottom of that front piece, and that will give us that pocket. And if you don't want to add another cover, you can leave it and it's ready. But I've got this, and I'm going to do it this way, how I sort of gave it that sort of shabby tattered look. And to do that, all you want to do is when you add your glue, don't go around the edge, just go inside the edge all the way right around. Just try and keep it away from the edge. And then when you glue it down, the edges should be not glued, and then you'll be able to, once that's glued down, you just sort of slowly lift them up and then just press it down, or wherever you like. The more tattered it looks, the better, I think. But if you want to have a smooth edge and not want to do this, you can just skip that part and just glue it all around. I think this gives it a bit of sort of texture, dimension, and sort of more interesting and fun. Just a little bit of the white. So I've got that, and just pressing it down. And then you pretty much have your folder ready for you to also decorate and add all the fun stuff in here. So there we have your larger size. I like this one. This one's really full. Look how fat that is. So chunky. But that is that one all complete. Exactly the same. And I'll just quickly give you the measurements for the envelope. So that is the pocket. This is so much fun to make. You can make a bunch of these quite easily. Use up your single-sided papers, your 6x6 papers. You can make a bunch of these smaller ones. So that's that. So now for the measurements for this really simple, cute envelope, grab a 6x6 paper. Let me just grab another one. I wasn't going to do this, the measurements, but I'm sure I'll have a comment somewhere down below asking me for the measurements. So I thought I'll just do one. Let me just grab this one. Let's grab that piece. And the measurements for this is just as easy. Just move these to the side. So I'm just going to check the direction of the paper because I want that to be the top. That's the bottom. So let's just do this first. So I'm just going to go on both sides. Just making sure the pattern is the right way. So on both sides, I just want to score at 3/4 inches going in. I'm just going to turn it around. So 3/4 inches. And then it actually doesn't matter. And then on the other side is the same score lines. You're going in at 1 1/4 inches on both sides. So it's 1 1/4 inch. I'm just going to turn that around and 1/4 inch. And that is it. So both sides are the same, 3/4 inches. And then the other side are the same score lines going in at 1 1/4 inch. And what we're going to do here, let me just find, so this part here is going to be my closure because I want the right way facing up, and this bottom one will be the bottom. So the score line that was scored at 1 1/4 inches are the two score lines that are going to get folded in together like that, just so you have an idea. So I'm going to open this back up now, and what we're going to do here is we'll start from this side to make it easy. I'm going to go in and like that, and the same on the other side, and remove that and do the same on the other side. Oh goodness, my sweet little jester, he's just snoring. He's been snoring throughout this whole tutorial. And so that's that part done. Now we're going to go up here. I'm going to turn it upside down because it's easy for me. We're just going to cut down straight. And then cut this one straight. And we're just going to remove it. Actually, I'm just going to remove those two corners. I'm just going to fix that up. I don't know if you could hear him, but he's definitely enjoying his sleep. So that is how your paper will look. And what we'll do now, I'm just going to corner around. I'll fold these in. I'll fold that down first. That's the top part. I'm going to corner around these two corners. And then bring them in. Corner around these two corners. Bring this piece up, which is the bottom, and then we're just going to wrap these two little tabs to the back, and we'll glue them down, and that will give us a spot to add your fun things inside. Wrap that to the back, and there is your envelope with a open window. So sweet, so cute. And that should fit inside this one here. You can even place it in the front of here if you wanted to do that. You can place it in the front. You can then place it on the inside. Like that. Cute. You can make a ton of these as well and just make a bunch of these and send these off as gifts for craft fairs, and tie some nice string around it and package it up, and that makes a nice little gift set. And so this is just another fun project idea, just using some vellum. If you have a lot of vellum and you want to make something using them, this is a fun way to make that. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye for now.